Who's our next team?
Next up, we have the Sacramento Kings, and I'm going to go the easy route here and just ask, where is Richaun Holmes going to be traded to? Because he is on the books for $11.2 million next year. His contract runs through 2024-25 with a player option for that final year. It's pretty clear that they're committed to Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, which worked better than I expected at the tail end of this past season. It looks like there is legitimately something to build around there. As they gain more comfort, Holmes is only going to be phased out of a primary spot within the rotation even more. Harrison Barnes is still there to absorb a lot of the minutes at the 4. He can play some small ball 5 when Sabonis isn't on the floor. So Holmes needs a different home. I think that's pretty clear. We thought that he was going to be commanding a lot more money last offseason. Charlotte was easily our favorite destination. Are they still in play? Are other teams going to get in the mix? Because Holmes is still a legitimately good, impactful player, even if he's not Domantas Sabonis.
Also, really quickly, because we haven't addressed it on the podcast, and I feel we were not saying the off-court stuff with his, I think it's his girlfriend and his son. I just feel whatever the truth is there, I feel terrible for his son. It seems like he's been through a lot. So hopefully his son's okay. And everything we're saying about Richaun Holmes has only everything to do about what's going on basketball-wise. Just wanted to throw that caveat out there. I think I'm with you in the sense Charlotte, Dallas would be a really good fit for him, and Toronto are teams that I could see going after him. And maybe it doesn't take, the Kings have kind of hurt his trade value. His contract is still so good, but by having Sabonis, you've made him superfluous, and our team's going to lowball you there. This falls under the umbrella of my question, what the fuck are the Kings going to do? Was my actual question. And I think anyone who listens to this podcast...
That's just like a state of being for the Kings.
They are in a perpetual state of existential crisis. That is the Sacramento Kings. We do not typically gobble the low-hanging fruit with the Kings on this podcast. I want to make that clear. Everyone binge eat away at the low-hanging fruit. They deserve it at this point. And I don't know what they do here. They've tethered themselves to this weird timeline, and it's just hysterical that they landed in the number 4 spot, which that's a huge asset. Jaden Ivey with De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell, I'm not a big proponent of drafting for fit. I would go best player available, so I would take Jaden Ivey and I wouldn't think twice about it. But the Kings have tied themselves to this more urgent timeline to where, you have to care a little bit because what happens there? And that's not the cleanest fit with Fox and Sabonis.
And Ivey's going to be a developmental project anyway.
And so, in theory, you could say, then we'll get to bring him along slowly because Fox and Sabonis are there. That's not how the Kings are going to operate. It's also, what are you grooming him for to take De'Aaron Fox's job? It's like De'Aaron Fox is not 35 years old. I'm just curious, and I know we said we didn't want to talk about the draft, but are they going to is this a trade down scenario for them? Or are they, and this would have been fair game regardless, do they try and use that pick to materially upgrade, I would say, the wing rotation? And the issue there, and I scoured like the potential wing market, I don't even know what prospective deals are going to be worth giving up what would be the number 4 pick. So it feels like they're going to be in a situation of, they're probably better off trading down. I saw some people float like John Collins for the number 4 pick. I don't know if John Collins is worth that in a vacuum. He's not worth that to the Kings. You just traded for Sabonis. And you're not, Miles Turner, you're not going to go after him after you just traded for Sabonis. He's also
that would be amazing, though.
That would.
Can you imagine?
It would potentially be the most Kings move ever, though.
It would be.
I've seen people mention, could they be a sneaky Rudy Gobert destination? That is, you free Sabonis from playing with another big, only to play him beside another big who's an even worse offensive fit next to him. So no, you don't do that. And he clearly doesn't fall under the wing umbrella there. So I don't know. There are other moves they can make. They shouldn't be a cap space team unless they dump other salary. What is their mid-level exception get them? What are they going to do with their draft picks? It does feel like there's going to be a significant trade here and that it's going to be a buy. I don't see them wanting to move Richaun Holmes strictly to get spare parts or future assets. That's not the timeline on which they're operating. And so my question was, what the fuck are they going to do? Because I'm honestly just at a loss there's all these different options available to them, but none of them seem to coalesce into whatever the hazy bigger picture they've assembled here is. And that number 4 pick, it feels like the draft is going to start with them. Like they are the first wild card. And
it's a 3-player top tier. So of course the Kings have the number 4 pick. But even if they had, I don't even know if I want to go there. That's just too mean to the Kings. I think you know where I was going.
I think I do, which is why I'll carry us right along. It's just like I'm at a loss. Don't know really what, and I'm even stumbling through it now because of the lead in the thing that you just teased. I'm just like, do they even have are they the team that's just going to keep the pick and then not draft who the obvious player at number 4 feels like he is? Because they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt if they go with Shaedon Sharpe at number 4. They're not going to be the team that gets the benefit of the doubt there.
Right. Just put it in the bag. Bag.
So I just don't even know. It feels like the more prudent move would be to explore the trade down scenarios just because it doesn't look like the market for what they need is. A name that I floated just because I don't want to say his fit, but his future is a little bit more murky in Toronto is OG Anunoby. Just with the emergence of Scotty Barnes, we sort of saw our OG stagnate on offense. I think in part because of the roster construction. Mm-hmm. Is there something there? Richaun Holmes at number 4 for OG? Is that too much? Does Toronto say, whoa, so we're going to get number 4 and supposed to draft someone who stands under 6'7"? I don't know. But I can't come up with a deal that makes sense for the number 4 pick. That's for an actual player. There are a bunch of different trade down scenarios that you could look at for sure.
Yeah, I would rather them try to trade down to get more picks. Just let's take some more flyers in this class, because even if it's weak at the top, there should be a lot of rotation players throughout the back half of the first round, the top half of the second round.
Yeah, I could would they do something? I feel like this maybe isn't the Spurs. If the Spurs offered number 9, and people are going to laugh because he's become a meme, but Josh Richardson and then something else, because Josh Richardson was really good for them and was having a solid season before he was traded from Boston anyway. But maybe that's a team that could look at doing it. I know that Charlotte has 2 firsts, but who are they giving the Kings? That's right. Where it gets weird. Is even when you look at the teams that I could see maybe wanting to trade up to number 4, can the Pacers actually do anything for you? I'm sure they're just pissed that they didn't end up in the top 4 here. Brogdon and what? Brogdon and 6, and I think you would need something else there too. I'm not even going to lie. So
I don't think you would.
You don't? I don't. No. Brogdon's not this team needs a wing and
Yeah, but I'm not sure that moving down from 4 to 6 matters that much in this class.
Well, then fair enough. But then if you're the Kings, I guess I don't know. Like I said, I don't see the options there, even when you get into the trade down stuff with teams that have interest. So Sacramento's offseason, it's always chaotically fascinating, detrimentally fascinating. I think on more of a higher level here, a deeper level, it's just fascinating for so many reasons because of what it's going to say about their philosophy, their timeline, and then, of course, the other players that are currently on this roster, what it says about them.